Most of the world has no idea what's happening in the Democratic Republic of Congo. From corporate exploitation to foreign interference, this crisis affects every single one of us, and the mainstream media just won't tell you the truth. In today's compilation video, I'm breaking down everything you need to know, from secret deals to cultural highlights, all in one complete story. To understand the outside forces shaping Congo, first we need to meet the man behind Blackwater, Erik. Here's how his operations are impacting the region. As always, you'll find all the timestamps down below, just in case you want to speed up or go back to any video that you may have missed. This billionaire warlord trained as a Navy SEAL, ran a private army, and is now quietly taking over Congo's mineral supply. So, who is Erik Prince? Erik Prince was born into power and money. His father was a billionaire auto parts magnate. Prince became a Navy SEAL, but he didn't stay in the military. Instead, in 1997, he founded Blackwater, a private military company he claimed would train law enforcement and provide high-risk security abroad. But Blackwater wouldn't just train, it fought for money. After 9/11, Prince's company exploded in size and influence. Blackwater secured over $1 billion in U.S. government contracts, operating in Iraq, Afghanistan, and other war zones. But in September 2007, Blackwater crossed a line the world wouldn't ignore. At Nisour Square in Baghdad, Blackwater guards opened fire on a crowd of civilians. 17 Iraqis were killed, women, children, and a 9-year-old boy, all unalived in broad daylight. Eyewitnesses described the scene as pure horror. Cars incinerated, bodies in the streets. It wasn't a battlefield. It was a traffic circle. The FBI later said that this wasn't a war. It was a criminal act, linking it to a drive-by shooting. This massacre sparked global outrage, lawsuits, protests, congressional hearings. And what did Erik Prince do? He denied responsibility. He built Blackwater, hired the shooters, he profited, and then he just vanished. After Blackwater's collapse, Prince didn't just stop. He just changed his target, specifically to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why Congo? Because it holds the world's most valuable minerals: cobalt, copper, lithium, and so many more. These minerals power your phones, your laptops, your electric cars. And Erik Prince? He wants to control the mine, the supply chains, the profits, using the same tactics as he did in Iraq. He trained armies in the UAE, violated an arms embargo in Libya, and tried to sell private spy services to the Trump administration. This isn't a conspiracy, it's a business model. He rebrands, breaks international law, and no one stops him. Erik Prince is still moving, quietly, globally, and dangerously, from Baghdad to Congo, from bullets to cobalt. We can't keep letting him disappear into the shadows. Not this time. This video is getting a little long already, so if you like this type of content, make sure that you are engaging with it from the bottom up. Make sure that you share this, follow me for more, and pay attention to what's happening in the Congo right now. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, free Congo, free Sudan, and free Palestine. You've heard of Blackwater. Maybe you remember the name from the Iraq War or a viral headline, but what if I told you the man behind Blackwater is still operating, just not where you would expect? Erik Prince has gone from private wars in the Middle East to quietly building power in Africa. And right now, all eyes should be on what he's doing in the Congo. This story is about privatized violence, war crimes, and global resource control, and how one man has stayed in the shadows while profiting from chaos. The last episode, I told you a little bit about Erik Prince's background, his billionaire father, and the atrocities that happened at the Nisour Square massacre. During Trump's first term in office, Erik Prince tried to shape foreign policy from behind the curtain. He met with Russian agents to set up a secret communications channel. He trained mercenaries in the UAE. He was accused of helping violate the United Nations arms embargo in Libya. Prince was constantly forming shell companies, barely legal or outright illegal, and using them to train foreign soldiers, sell weapons, and carry out missions most governments wouldn't dare to put their names on. This man should scare the shit out of you. He even tried to sell private spy services to Trump, and create a private Afghanistan force, and build surveillance tech in Africa and Asia. This wasn't rogue behavior. This was privatized warfare, driven by ideology and greed. Now Erik Prince has set his eyes on the Congo. The DRC is home to some of the world's most valuable resources in minerals like cobalt, lithium, copper, diamonds. Without them, your cell phone doesn't work, your laptops don't work, and those fancy electric cars that we should all be boycotting don't work. Now, reports link Prince to resource extraction operations in the Congo, including efforts to secure cobalt through shady business deals and private security networks. This is the rise of dangerous corporate warlords. Erik Prince and Trump don't care about the people of the Congo, only care about what the Congo holds, and that's wealth. in minerals. The blueprint is simple. Extract resources, use mercenaries, ignore human rights, and rebrand once exposed. If you found this video at all helpful, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know if you've heard of Erik Prince before and the situations that's happening in the Congo right now. Engage with this post from the bottom up and give me a follow if you found this information helpful. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, free Congo, free Sudan, and free Palestine. You may think the Congo is far away, but its crisis has touched the whole world. Let's see why this matters to every single one of us. Everyone needs to know what is happening in the Congo right now because it actually affects every single one of our lives. The DRC has an estimated of $23 trillion in natural resources in it right now. And this is why there's been so much fighting going on, because it's over these natural resources and who controls it. The Democratic Republic of Congo is facing one of the deadliest conflicts in the world right now, but barely anyone is talking about it. The M23 rebels, backed by Rwanda, have intensified their attacks, recently taking over parts of the city of Goma, a major city in the eastern DRC. As they advance, civilians are paying the price. Mass killings, rapes, and forced displacements are happening at an alarming rate. Over 1 million people have been displaced, and those who remain face unimaginable violence.
We hear bombs from all sides of our IDP camp. That's why I decided to flee, so as not to die there. We are going to Goma, but I heard that there are bombs in Goma too, so now we don't know where to go.
Free claims to be fighting for the right of the Congolese Tutsis, but their actions tell a very different story. Reports from on the ground detail widespread sexual violence used as a weapon of war. Villages are burnt to the ground, and mass executions of those who resist. Rwanda continues to deny involvement, despite clear evidence of their support for the rebels. Meanwhile, the DRC's vast mineral wealth, used in everything from smartphones to electric cars, fuels this war, with many global powers just turning a blind eye because they want these resources. Organizations like Focus Congo are working tirelessly to help those affected, providing aid and documenting these atrocities. But mainstream media remains silent throughout this whole thing. Please share this. Talk about this. Look up information if you don't know it, and talk to the people there. Most newslets only tell you part of the story. The war in the Congo isn't just about rebels. Here's the hidden truth that the media won't cover. The media won't tell you this, but the war in the Congo isn't just about rebels. It's about who gets rich off their suffering. Congo is home to some of the most valuable resources in the world. Gold, cobalt, coltan, the stuff that powers phones, laptops, and electric cars. It's been reported that Congo has over $23 trillion just in the one country alone. But instead of that wealth helping the people, it's fueling the war. And here's who's involved. Rwanda and Uganda have been backing rebel groups in the eastern Congo for years. Why? To control the mines and to smuggle out minerals. The UN has called out Rwanda for directly arming M23 rebels. But they're not acting alone. The US and the UK have been funding and arming Rwanda and Uganda for security reasons while looking the other way as they profit from the Congo's suffering. And let's talk about the big corporations. Tech giants like Apple, Tesla, and Microsoft all depend on Congo's minerals. Chinese mining companies are operating there, and gold from conflicting zones is ending up in Swiss and UAE refineries. They all profit while the Congolese people are displaced and unalived. If you want to help, make sure that you are following Pappy O'Ryan and Focus Congo. They are doing real work to spread awareness and help the people of the Congo. And drop a comment on what you'd like to know about this conflict. Let's keep this conversation going. I feel like the more people know, the more they interact, and the more they interact, the more the message can spread. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, free the Congo, free Sudan, and free Palestine. If you're enjoying this type of content, make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe for more great content just like this. It's not just about local players. Some neighboring countries are being used to loot Congo's most valuable resources. And you need to see what's happening now. Zionists are using Rwanda and Uganda to loot the Congo. Let me show you the connections you need to know. Let's start with Dan Gertler, the Israeli billionaire. He's been at the heart of the corrupt mining deals in the Congo, making hundreds of millions off the country's resources. But it doesn't end there. Israel has armed and trained Rwanda and Uganda, two countries deeply involved in the Congo conflict. Rwanda backs rebel groups like M23, who are destabilizing the region to control its resources. And guess who's supplying the weapons? You guessed Israel. You're right. And Israeli traders are linked to laundering conflict diamonds and gold out of the Congo through Rwanda and Uganda. These minerals get cleaned up, sold in places like Tel Aviv and Dubai, while Congo remains in war. Because Rwanda and Uganda push pro-Israel policies in international organizations like the UN and the African Union in exchange for military and financial support. Zionists are making money off this war, just like a lot of other countries are. Make sure that you are following Papi Orion and Focus Congo. They are on the ground there and they're trying to help as many people as they can. And drop a comment on what part of this conflict you want me to break down next. Thank you for listening. And as always, free the Congo, free Sudan, and free Palestine. Here's a quick word from one of my sponsors.
Protein that tastes like juice? I used to skip protein all the time because I hated how thick and chalky shakes felt. They were more like a chore than something I look forward to. But then I found Seek. It's a clear whey protein that mixes like juice and tastes even better. 22 grams of refreshing protein that I actually want to drink. And in the 9-pack box, you get to try 3 of Seek's most popular flavors. The Blue Raz Freeze, Watermelon Wave, and Strawberry Lemonade. Get them now before they're all gone.
But the Congo isn't only about conflict. Amid the chaos, artists like Dogo Browny are rising and bringing hope through music. Here's his story. Stop what you're doing and check out this video. And this one. His name is Dogo Browny, and he is just 15 years old. Through his music, he speaks pain, wisdom, and truth. The stories of war, struggle, and the hope for freedom. His message is clear. Free Congo, free Sudan, and free Palestine. Dogo Browny isn't just a rapper, he's a movement. With every verse, he sheds light on the suffering of his people, the children caught in the conflict, and the fight for justice worldwide. You can hear the pain in his voice, but also the strength of someone who refuses to be silenced. He's also part of the Invisible Kids Academy, a community of young artists in Goma who use their music, dance, and creativity to rise above the hardships that they face. Founded by Bush Sebar, this academy is more than a school. It's a safe haven where children can dream, express themselves, and find hope. In a region where so many voices go unheard, Dogo Browny and Invisible Kids Academy are making sure the world listens. His lyrics carry the weight of generations who have suffered war and displacement. He raps about children growing up in fear, families being torn apart, and the desperate need for peace, not in just Congo, but in Sudan and Palestine too. At just 15, he understands the world in ways that most of us never will. His words are raw, his voice is filled with emotion, and his music is a cry for justice. Dogo Browny's message needs to be heard. You can help amplify his voice. Follow Dogo Browny, the Invisible Kids Academy, and Focus Congo to support their work. Share this video to spread awareness of his message. And of course, listen to his music. I'll provide the links in my bio where you can get more information on Dogo Browny. I truly believe that this young kid's voice needs to be heard by as many people as I could possibly share it with. So if you can make sure that you share this clip out with everyone that you know, let's make sure that Dogo Browny's voice is heard across the world. And just like he said, free Congo, free Sudan, and free Palestine. While some celebrate culture, millions of Congolese are facing one of the deadliest humanitarian crises on the planet. Here's the reality that they live every single day. Right now, the Democratic Republic of Congo, or the DRC, is facing one of the deadliest humanitarian crises, and yet the world remains silent. Since last month, over 7,000 people have been unalived in the eastern region of the country. 3,000 people were killed in Goma, the capital of North Kivu. Over 2,500 bodies have been buried without identification, and 1,500 more still remain in the morgues. The violence is escalating so fast, with entire communities being wiped out, homes destroyed, and families left in mass graves without names. But who's responsible? The M23 rebels, a group backed by Rwanda, have been taking control of the eastern DRC since January. They have captured Goma and Bukavu, two key cities, in a rapid military offensive. These rebels, armed and trained by Rwandan forces, are spreading terror, leaving destruction in their wake. This is not just a rebellion. It is an invasion. The United Nations has confirmed that 4,000 Rwandan soldiers are fighting alongside M23 rebels, yet Rwanda still denies any involvement, despite overwhelming evidence. And the world is watching and doing nothing. Even the UN Secretary General has warned that this war could push the entire region into collapse, yet no major action has been taken to hold Rwanda accountable. Meanwhile, the people of the DRC are suffering. Over 40,000 people have fled to Burundi in just 2 weeks, escaping the violence. Entire towns and villages have been emptied, with families torn apart, and reports of summary execution, sexual violence, and forced displacement are increasing daily. The Prime Minister of the DRC is pleading for the world to act, calling for sanctions against Rwanda and demanding that the international community stop ignoring this crisis. Why isn't this on every news channel out there? Why are our governments staying silent while thousands of Congolese people are being slaughtered? This is not just another conflict. This is a genocide over the control of vast mineral resources, trillions of dollars in gold, cobalt, and other minerals that major corporations in the United States and other countries rely on. The world ignores Congo because its suffering fuels global profit. We must speak up and we must expose this genocide. And we must demand action. Leave a comment below on how you are advocating for the Congo. And as always, free the Congo, free Sudan, and free Palestine. Even foreign citizens are entangled in the Congo's politics. 3 Americans face serious charges after a failed coup attempt. Here's what happened. How did a group of Americans end up at the center of a coup in the Congo? Here's what happened. In May 2024, an attempted coup unfolded in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. A plot aimed to overthrow the president and install a new regime of government called New Zaire. Operation was led by Christian Malonga, a Congolese opposition figure who had previously lived in the United States. Malonga was killed during the failed coup attempt. 3 Americans were implicated. Marcel Malonga, Christian's 21-year-old son, Tyler Thompson Jr., a friend of Marcel's from Utah, and Benjamin Ruben Zalman Paloon, a business associate of Christian Malonga. All 3 were arrested, tried in the Congo, and initially sentenced to death. However, in April 2025, their sentences were commuted to life imprisonment, and they were repatriated to the United States. Upon their return, the U.S. Justice Department charged them with serious federal offenses, including conspiracy to use weapons of mass destruction. A 4th individual, Joseph Peter Moser, was also charged for allegedly providing explosive trainings in Utah. This case has raised questions about how these individuals became involved in such a plot and the extent of their participation. If you like hearing this information on the Congo, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. Share this video to spread awareness about the implications of such action. Be sure to engage from the bottom up, and thank you so much for watching. Stay informed, stay engaged, and as always, free Palestine, free Congo, and free Sudan. Finally, a new deal has just been made. One that could steal an entire generation's future. Here's what you need to know. Congo just made a deal that could steal an entire generation's future, and nobody's talking about it. Recently, the Congolese government signed a major agreement with the United States. In exchange for military support against Rwanda and a new port for faster exports, the U.S. is getting exclusive access to Congo's minerals, like cobalt and lithium, which are critical for technology, energy, and weapons. This deal isn't about peace, security, or helping the Congolese people. It's about protecting U.S. global dominance and blocking China from gaining more control over Congo's resources. The heartbreaking part? While Eastern Congo continues to face genocide and mass suffering, this deal focuses only on Katanga, the region rich with mines. Not where people are dying, but where profits are. And to make things even worse, mercenary companies, the same ones known for war crimes, are being handed the power to secure these mines, not to protect children, not to end violence, but to protect profits. This isn't just a business deal. This is a foundation for decades of foreign control, militarization, and economic exploitation of Congo. Again, if you like this type of content, make sure that you are engaging from the bottom up. Thank you so much for listening. Free Congo, free Sudan, and as always, free Palestine. The people from the Congo are facing one of the deadliest conflicts in modern history, yet so few know their story. You now know some of that truth. The question is, what will you do with it? Educate yourself, raise awareness, and let's make sure the world can no longer turn a blind eye. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, free Congo, free Sudan, and free Palestine.